thought that was a lottery one.
Why are people getting mad, dude?
Have you been watching what the dollar's doing today?
I haven't looked at it recently, but we can look at
It's
it.
just been going up and up and up. It's broken over 92 and hasn't stopped.
Yep, that's why steel's been falling, and that's why energy's been falling. So, I imagine.
Could be why everything's falling. Right?
I mean, the dollar looks like it's rallying hard. Might be a good time to short gold, actually.
Wouldn't that
So,
bring all the equities down?
yeah, it's the dollar rallying is not good for the market. Think of it this way: if the dollar rallies, things are worth less money. So if you yesterday could have bought a banana for $1, and now today it costs 80 cents, that basically means the stock is worth 20% less as well. So the dollar inflation is good for stocks, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like it might be time for some TLT to hedge
Yeah, the
because
Dixie
people go into
is
bonds,
just
right?
for people confused. DXY is the dollar index. It's basically the dollar versus world currency. So it weights the dollar versus, say, the euro, the yen, the Canadian dollar, the pound, and all sorts of things like that. I don't remember. I know the euro and the yen are the biggest, and then I think there's the China dollar or whatever it's called. I'm drawing a blank in my head, but um,
Yuan.
the yuan, yeah. So that's this is the entire reason this rallying right here. If you were to overlay, say, steel on here, um, this is annoying, but
You gotta hit it with a different scale.
do I? What do I do that?
Just delete it out. Click on the line.
Oh, when I compare it,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
same
New price
percent.
scale. New price scale.
There we go. So you see how it spikes when the dollar dies, and then when the dollar rallies, it dies. I mean, it's not a one for one, but basically it inverses. It's actually
It's weird. It changes with time, but like
yeah.
it's the closest thing that I've gotten to where it matches without having to do something crazy. But you see overall,
I mean, that's a healthy cup on the dollar. So imagine the dollar will rally to 92.50, and then that might even happen tonight. And if it happens tonight and it crashes, then we'll be okay. But
Is that a bigger cup on the daily too?
could be a reversal cup. Yeah, absolutely. We don't need X anymore. So, the dollar broke the downtrend, and then it retested it, and now it's breaking out. So, we need to pay attention to that. But it does kind of have a rising wedge. So, but
Yeah, someone should boost the server so I could watch.
it's already fully boosted. You can watch on YouTube. Just type
Tight.
exclamation point YT for my YouTube channel. Yeah, if you got X shares, I don't think.
Don't worry,
I mean, if
I'm
you
already
got
sub.
Okay, cool. Let's say if you got shares of X and you're playing equity, you're not sweating it all right now. We
Hey
should,
Tom, quick question for you. At what size of an account do you think it's worth to invest in like stocks long term instead of options as much?
uh, I mean, honestly, you could start doing it with $1,000. I mean, ideally, you want at least half your account long term, and as it grows, you increase that percentage. But I was just trying to give us a boost to start, and then as we, every time we double our account, we'll take half of that. So if, let's say we get to 2 grand, we'll take 500 and we'll buy a leap with it. And every time we make 1,000, we'll take 500 and we'll buy a leap with it. If that makes sense.
I see.
So every gain you get, half of it should go into long term, in my opinion. when trying to grow an account aggressively, because that way you're not going to blow up your account for one, and you're going to secure long-term gains, and you're still allowing yourself to grow, but you're not worried as much. You know, it's risk versus reward basically. So you want to have a low risk part, but with still pretty good reward. You know, they call it cost of opportunity basically. So what's the opportunity cost, and what's the return on your cost of opportunity? So that's what we're worried about.
Okay, I see. And you think it'd be better to like put the like when you're growing your long-term account, still be better to put it towards leaps rather than like actual shares?
And again, with that, you also want that diversified. So I'm a big proponent of having a healthy chunk of leaps because they pay hard when they pay, and they can make up for, say, the lack of, like, even if only half of them pay, normally you'll get like 300-400% returns on the ones that do pay, and those will make up for. You could have 40% of win rate on leaps and still double your money, which is why leaps
I
are
see.
awesome. But it's nice to have at least half of your long term in, say, like dividend stocks for guaranteed growth, and then you can do like covered calls and you know you can make money three ways on shares. You can do covered calls, you can do dividend reinvesting, and you can also loan your shares, so you could be part of a share loan program and earn percentage of your shares that way. So if you do it on the right stock, on the right dividend stocks that have decent IV, you can actually pay for your own stock within a year just through doing those other things. Then you have free stock at the end of the year, and you double your money that way. Even if the stock doesn't move, you can still double your money on a stock in a year, which is what's so cool about it. And I thought about doing that for the small account, is just doing something really simple like that, but it's just not sexy, and people would get really bored really fast. We will do stuff
Yeah.
like that. We just won't do it right away. So I don't want to go my whole account into it, but maybe 10-20% of the account as we grow, we'll put that into equity plays like that. We'll go find some
Are you
Iron Mountain or CVS or something and sell equity against our shares.
Yeah, I was looking at
Holy cow!
some
It
of the
wicked.
dividend.
X just wicked down to 1930.
Oh,
That's
it broke 20.
Oh yeah. Well, no, the wick is good because it bounced on it, and that's the 318. And so as long as the 318 holds, or the 382, as long as that holds, this is pretty much the last line of defense for the handle. So if that holds, that means we could still have a handle and a bounce. Otherwise, it's going to do this CVS thing. So CVS kind of did the same thing before, where it had like this cup and handle action over here forming, and then this was like the 318 right here, or not right there, it was like right here. And so we were hoping for this to hold, and then it broke, but then all of a sudden it mooned after that. So I don't know.
Tom, are you worried at all how the small account challenge is going along?
I mean, I'm down 30%. I'm not freaking out. The only people that are freaking out are the people that bought weeklies on everything I told them to get. Instead of the April calls. So
I've stopped
Tom,
playing weekly. dude.
How do you feel about MJ Leaps?
MJ Leaps?
Yeah, I grabbed some last week.
I think that's a solid play. I think weed's going to continue to be legalized. We did get a spike in volume there, which, as long as this keeps going down, though, the average. MJ Leafs, I think, are fine. I own CGC Commons in my long term. I mean, I do have some long term. So when I tell people I'm all cash, it's not like totally true, but it's there's a big chunk of cash there. Because the war, I was expecting us to sell off and have a correction. So after the dollar starts dying again, then we can jump back into equities. But I like weed as long term. I think there's going to be some opportunity there, and I think it's going to be popular all year. I just think it ran really hard, really fast. So, the harder things run, the harder they fall usually. Looks like it did fall out of my bear wedge here, unfortunately. I was hoping this would actually had this alert set up for us that I was hoping was going to hit this week, but it actually broke below it, retested it, and I think we're going to get some discounts on weed. You might be a little early to the party, but, I mean, you could always average down over time, too.
I was looking through the dividend stocks recommended, but I mean, as expected, I don't think any of them really have that high of an IV.
No,
So
it's not going to be like a billionaire overnight. It's going to be making 20,
Yeah.
$30 a week, maybe,
Yeah, they're slower movers though. Also,
They're slower movers, and the IV isn't going to be high. It's hard to find a fast-moving dividend stock, if I'm going to be honest with you. But you know, the oil stocks, their IVs can boom, like CVX and Zolm and EPD, and like all the energy stocks usually have high dividends. And if we continue to be bullish on energy this year, I think NEE has a decent one. IIPR for weed has a decent one. NEE is only 2%, so it's not like crazy, but there is something.
BEP has a good dividend.
Yeah, Brooklyn Energy, I think you're talking about.
Brookfield.
Or
Renewable.
Brookfield, yeah.
I think they have like the highest technical dividend yield for the sector.
Fitch is finally starting to die.
3%. Yeah, I know, right?
It's movement.
Like,
I saw you had a league open up.
I did. It just
We
sits
should
in
do
the,
like a TFC in house or something.
there isn't a whole gaming section of the server, but you have to be invited to it. So if you want to be invited, just shoot me a DM.
Oh, cool. We'll do.
Yeah, we don't advertise it because it's not like the main proponent of the server. It's just it's every now and then at night when I get done doing everything, I like to unwind and shoot some people in the face.
That's always fun.
Tom, do you know much about Nautilus and LS?
I do. I like Nautilus as a long.
Isn't it like it's super undervalued right now, isn't it? It's like 50% down, or almost 50 right now. 16.27. Isn't it like valued at like a $20 stock? Like 2025?
I thought I had NLS valued like in the 30 to 35 range. So consider this. NLS market cap is lower than their revenue they produce. So they produce almost $600 million a year in revenue, yet their market cap right now is like 497, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I've got really really long holds on it. I think they expire like I think a year from now.
And I don't think it's going to go down. I mean, people are going to still be buying home equipment. I know Peloton's, smashing the market right now, but, the Bowflex and Norditrack and all that are still household names. Like, look at this. They total revenue.
They're like also shining too.
Total revenue $552 million in 2020. They made in the first quarter this year. So this last quarter, they made almost $200 million in revenue, and their revenue has doubled year over year. And they make $30 million a quarter, so they should be worth at least $1 billion in my opinion, based on revenue multiples and forward PE and all that. So I like it as a long. It's a little frustrating right now, but it's a good price. I mean, it's at literally. You could see this if this rips back tomorrow. I would like it tomorrow because it's at the bottom of the cup. This is pretty much the last line of defense before it goes back down to $10. If it goes to $10, I'm putting a ton of money into it. All right, so we're aftermarket now. Let's go watch SPY, I guess, because that's still technically in play for another 15 minutes.
If X turns around, do you have a re-entry for those of us who had a stop loss on it?
Sure. Let's look at that, actually. I mean, I think over 21. Basically, take your chart, draw your downtrend line, and when it breaks the downtrend, that's when you would get back in. That makes sense. So that could be any price, really. But as long as it breaks this downtrend, I could set an alert for us if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So I'll just put it in the breakout alerts. I mean, I guess I could do it. I'll put it in the breakout alerts or newsletter, I guess. But
all right, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Let me just get all the info here. There's so much that goes into trying to set these alerts. There we go. So, we'll see what it does tomorrow. It'll be nice to see it just rip back tomorrow. XLE's been super disappointing. Looks like SPY is coming up a little aftermarket. Fitch is dying aftermarket. I want to see this thing open up at 51 tomorrow. That would make me very happy. But you can see basically this is forming a right shoulder right now. Like total left shoulder, total right shoulder. You can see the line on it. It's all the data's there. It just needs to do what it needs to do and die. So there's your shoulder line right there. That would mean probably want it to go below this line now. So underneath 54 and it can really flush. Otherwise it's going to form an H formation, which is bullish. So it forms an
What's
H.
an H formation?
It's basically the start of a W formation. So
Oh, I see.
So basically, let's say if we get rid of everything here, you get a brush out. H is going like this, and so this is an H formation.
Oh yes, I see that a lot.
And then it forms a W. Does that make sense? So it's also called a double bottom. I mean, there's so many different.
The Wu-Tang pattern, dude.
The Wu-Tang pattern. Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
How do you typically play double bomb? 'Cause I see them happening a lot, but I feel like I get in too late. So usually I get in when it breaks over that like little middle part.
So I mean,
So like the peak of the middle part of the W.
so you would get in right
I'm not
here.
sure if that's correct. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's correct.
I mean, ideally, for me, I'd just play the fibs. So, you could play a fib like this. You can see this had a 50% bounce hard. So this could come down to 51. So right now, it bounced under the 382 and rejected. So this is most likely going to go to 56 tomorrow. And then if it can't hold 56, then it's going to go down to 51. And if it can't hold 51, I expect it to bounce at least 51. Then it's going to 45, possibly 42 by earnings. So it could be zigzagging down. So we could see something like this. And this would be a full zigzag. So there's two ways to measure zigzags. You can do it through physical this way, and then you put that at the peak here, and that would put us at the 50% retracement down here. Or you can do it through the extensions, which would create a cluster. So cluster targeting is probably one of the most efficient ways of targeting, but I don't talk about it as much as I should. That's actually one of my next videos I want to make, is creating cluster targets, but it takes a lot of time. It is kind of annoying sometimes to cluster target, but you do it through like measurements and then moving that measurement, and then you can do it through projections like this. So then your cluster could be like in this range would be your target. So the other way it could do is it could make a bear flag here. So this also could do something like this and then break down. And that would push our target out to like May, but that wouldn't. If it goes to 51 though, we're going to be, with the IV on fetch, we'll be plenty in the money at that point. Even if it's like the same week, we should still be at least by 50 cents or so. But
Okay.
the next giant sell-off we get, like if it goes $10 down tomorrow, IV is going to explode and we should sell tomorrow. Because if it goes to 51 tomorrow, those are going to be probably $1.50, and that's going to be like a 500-600%. That by itself will put us over $1,000 just in that one position, and then no one's going to be complaining. That would be awesome. That would relieve a lot of my stress.
Did you get your GME share for earnings?
I did not. Ooh, I thought I read.
Got one GME share for fun.
Yeah, Adobe.
They just released earnings.
Yeah.
They have earnings today. I'm not sure when though.
It's EPS 314 versus 279 forecast.
You talking Adobe or you talking GameStop?
Adobe.
Yeah, I just got the alert on Adobe. So they beat earnings, but they're selling off. X went down 10% today after I told everyone to buy it. That's just amazing.
Mo got a lot of call flow today on a bar chart, like over 114 calls for the 30 strike.
Hey, do me a favor. Instead of DMing me, ping me in a room, because then I can just right-click your name and add the role to your name. That's probably easier. So it was what? Zeus, Turtle, and Torres.
Oh, yeah, you're getting them in the game room, huh?
Yeah, well, people like gaming. It's nothing.
You guys get to come home late at night and find Tamikaze playing League at 1 o'clock in the morning.
What the hell is Tom doing? Why isn't he sleeping?
I came home from
Tom,
driving
you keep
home
pinging
from
me
the
at like 1 in the morning when I'm going to sleep.
You don't have to play. I just see it,
I know, but I'm like, I kind of want to play, but I have to sleep because of class.
It was like 2 a.m. on the East Coast. I just got back from Louisiana and I look, and it's Tom and Nate and Jonathan. At like 2 a.m. in the morning. I was like, what are you guys doing over here? It's just like, I think I want to play one more, but I don't. And then like 5 minutes later, like, yeah, let's do one more.
Die dash.
I mean, you gotta end the night on a dub. You can't end it on a loss.
Yeah, you try that until it gets 4 in the morning and you've had 10 losses in a row, and you can't even open your eyes.
Twice,
and you keep losing more and more because you get more tired and tired.
I think we've done that
It's
twice.
a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
We've done that a couple times.
Ooh, I like the
And then
Cloudera leap for $10 strike is only $4. That's nice. I like that idea. Cloudera.
I picked up the $15 one for only like $2.50 today. Pretty cheap.
Yeah, they're this thing is just gotten. Look at that. Look at those gaps.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited for that gap fill eventually.
Oh, we should set an alert on this. Hells yeah.
Definitely just scaling though. A little nervous with tech still, but
yeah, I wouldn't get in until this gap fill happens, and that would be a good time to buy leaps, probably, in my opinion. I don't think it's bad getting them now. You're getting a discount, but I mean, this is a $20 stock all day, in my opinion. It's not financial advice. I just like the stock.
you like the stock? What do they do exactly? I read their bio on Market Watch, but I don't really understand.
They make us money.
Just like a I mean, it just sounds like a cloud, like a regular cloud company.
Yeah, it's kind of like a itty bitty version of Google or Microsoft. They just they're not as big as them, but we can check out their website. What better source than from the source? So. Any cloud, multifunction, secured and open, but it's basically a cloud function. So they're a good company. The problem with them, they have good service and all that. Their financials aren't great, and I think that's why it scares a lot of investors. But look at their earnings year over year: 200, 300, 500, 600. They have increased their earnings 50% every year for the last 4 years. So. And the stock hasn't kept up with it, in my opinion. So, their cash flow is decent, 200 million, not fantastic, but a lot of it's come from they've had to finance, which also hasn't been good. Their debt to income, or liabilities, isn't bad. Their book share is decent. There's the quick ratio is they can cover their stuff, so that's good.
GME on the rise.
It's just one of those things where they need to figure out a way to turn profitable, but they're scaling right now. That's the idea. You scale, then you go to profits. And that's one of the reasons you IPO in the first place, is that you can scale with other people's money. So
Yeah.
and still pay yourself. That's, everyone, in theory, the financial cloud could IPO. Wouldn't be a very big one right now, but there's just we don't have a reason to, because then we'd be diluting our equity, and there's just not a strong case for it. That's more of an exit strategy than it is like an entry strategy for. You don't want an IPO unless you need a reason to, or it's like an exit strategy. So like that was my whole philosophy on like Palantir or Palantar. I always get yelled at for how I say it, but I think the only reason they went public is to raise money, because they've never made money, so they needed it to stay afloat. Because why would you be in the government contracting business and then have to report your books? Like that's the opposite. That's not gonna. I mean, I guess Lockheed Martin and Raytheon and all that do it too, but I guess there's the also. What's that?
It's pronounced poop.
I'm sorry, you cut out what?
It's pronounced poop.
Poop? Oh,
Palantir.
sure. Didn't that get hammered today too? Yes,
I
it
feel like
did.
Palantir gets hammered every day, but
The only thing that I had that was like green, IQ was up 3% today.
Let me look at my watch list. Was like, what was up today? What sectors were up even? Utilities.
I think
consumer
the
staples.
things were up actually. Like Netflix
was
ended
up
like
today.
plus
Well,
2% or something like that.
I think Netflix and Facebook are in the consumer staples, so that makes sense.
Oh, never mind.
XLRE barely turned.
I
XLU.
think Amazon was up today.
Yeah, Amazon's been getting a lot of call for, but look at this. Every other sector basically got destroyed. What's funny too is the semiconductors were actually up pre-market. That's why I put it on my watch list. They were up, and then they just got annihilated all day. That's the most annoying, is when something gaps up and then just sells off the entire day. Wow, basically the only thing green on my alpha list was AMTX. This thing looks nice.
Oh,
This
yeah.
thing was nice. It played all the way to my price target, hit it beautifully, and then rejected. So I hope people sold around 26. Like, that's why we have price targets to begin with.
Yeah, that was a good play.
Utilities were up alright today.
ATH, it's been consolidating. Hold on one second.
ATH going to ATH.
Good old Walmart was up today.
Oh yeah, Walmart had a pretty decent run today actually.
I hate Walmart. I'm telling you, dude, like, I don't know who writes those contracts, but
This actually looks really good. Look at that bull flag on there.
GME's up $7 after hours.
Yeah. Tell me when it's up 100, then I'll get excited.
what just happened? Got 6 market signals.
You know what? I can literally just do this.
What do you think about Funko, Tom? They had that NFT news today.
Dude, I had Funko on my watch list this morning, but no one ever plays it, so I didn't. I saw it gap up in the morning, and yeah, I just didn't put it on the watch list. I'm a little mad because I could have stolen credit for that run it had.
Yeah.
We must do plus like you remember, but
What happened to EOLS today? What the? That went crazy. 12% today.
I was thinking Funko could be a decent long-term hold. I mean, everyone loves their product, and now they're getting an NFT too.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff bear flagging right now. That's pretty. A lot of things are bear flagging at support too, which is also scary. Let's look at my total watch list here. Oh, what are these market? Oh, do you guys see the flow after hours?
Yeah, the level 4.
No, what happened?
IWMs.
There were 6 level 3
Oh
and 4s for
goodness.
IWM. All
I should.
and a lot of them are out of the money.
Oh, I
and
should have
some
held
of
my
them-
IWM puts.
2 for this week, 1 for next week, or 2 for this week, 2 for next week, and then 2 for the April. Oh my. 2 15s, 2 18s, 2 13s,
Jeez.
2 17s, and 2 15s for that level 4 at the end of the day.
Why does IWM get so much put flow, like way more than SPY and Qs?
I don't really have an answer to that, to be honest.
I feel like it moves more, honestly.
Maybe because it's got more wild swings.
People
Well, that got hammered today too. Was it down $9 from the top? Wonder if Dan got in. He usually gets in on those.
He said when the first one came in, he got some.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Shattershock's like, I would have bought more. We should just all in puts. We should all buy puts, and then with our put money, we should buy putang with it.
Yeah, dude, he continued.
So IWM puts at open.
We're 4 minutes late.
I know. The alert came 1 minute after 1:15.
Yeah, he bought IWMs today, like around 45.
Yeah, he's probably been in them.
Yeah, that first level 4 that came out.
Yeah, we were having an issue this morning. Something with our flow wasn't populating right, but we fixed it, so we should be good from now on. But we're monitoring it now, so hopefully it doesn't happen again. I was so confused. I was like, why haven't we gotten flow yet after like an hour into market? I was like, even a level 1, you know?
Yeah, Dan said he's heavy position in IW inputs. Dude's a beast.
That's why he's a legend.
Whenever you need that private chef, Dan, you should let me know, dude.
Spy's pumping. What we really care about, let's go to the quad screen.
And those IWM outputs were up so big, I was like, I'd just be risky to not take profit here.
Alright, so why is DoorDash up $2 after hour? Oh, it got a single print. Hold on, let's...
Wait, is it up after hours?
Yeah, it's at 133.46. No, it's up 20
Maybe
cents.
my thing's wrong.
Hold on,
Check
let me-
here. Check Market Watch.
I
Oh yeah, it is. Well, I mean, Market Watch.
I trust
was up like
Webull.
25 cents.
I trust Webull
Yeah,
because you
for
can
me,
see
it's
the
up
ticker tape.
46 cents.
You can see the
Oh, I
quotes.
see. Okay.
Someone bought 100 shares at 133.46, but now it's going back down. It hit 131.60 today. Did they get news? Like, I don't even think DoorDash had, yeah, it's up 20 cents. What was their volume today? It increased significantly at the end of the day, so selling volume was higher than buying volume, so it's good. Alright. I'd like to see that open at like 100 tomorrow. That would be awesome. I'd be very happy. What is AR? Antero Resources, Energy and Oil. Someone had a level 1 put on that. Ooh, that does look like it's coming down. Oh, that's not good for XLE. Better than XOP, though. XOP is small oil, and XLE is big oil. They look identical, though.
Did you see MP? That thing just fell today hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like almost 20% down today.
Wow, literally you could buy either one and they move to the T. I have 2 stocks up right now. Oh, that's why. I'm stupid. I'm comparing XOP to XLP. XLE, that's what we want. There we go. Okay, that's a little better.
It's still pretty close.
It's still pretty close, yeah. Looks like XLP has the higher implied volatility, which makes sense because they're smaller cap stocks. They're going to have higher volatility, but also means they sell off harder too. They've been following each other pretty well lately, though. That's interesting. We need, like, Iran to bomb Syria tonight. That's what we need.
Dude, I'm wondering what kind of news is going to line up.
This still hasn't made a right shoulder. Like, maybe it comes down to 46, then it makes the right shoulder. It doesn't look like it's going to do it this week, unfortunately. So, how bad are we down on XLE? Yeah, we're down about, what, 50, 75%? At this point, I'm just going to hold it. Alright, well, I'm going to get off. There's not much else to talk about, so I will see you all tomorrow. I'll probably be around tomorrow, too, so we could maybe go live again tomorrow for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, Warren, I don't disagree with I was a little aggressive on the XLE. Probably should have gone with April on that, but, maybe in the future we'll be a little safer, but high risk, high reward, so we were trying to make a quick buck was the idea. And I saw the gap fill. I think that was the big thing is I saw this gap fill and I was like, oh yeah, if this can hit 53 this week, we could 10x our money, which is... Now we have a gap fill down here, so we have 2 gap fills. Alright, later guys.
Later, Tom.